But even if such a thing existed, it'd be one thing if it was just one. Which leads me to believe that it's more likely that they think I just wouldn't care to help them. Yes, something like that. So it became imperative for. Of course, I had originally. There was no way to keep our invest.
That makes sense.
The last thing that guy wanted was for Dugier to find out that. But now, not only has Dugier that likely set his internal alarm. Yes, that's the conclusion I came to as well. If we didn't act right then and there. So after giving the matter some thought, I tossed that. I must say, I.
You did that on.
Yes, that's right. Of course, that box was discovered as part of our investigation. I had no way to know if any of the members had actually seen the gem before, but since I had to do something, I decided to gamble. Right. And I said back there that I had no idea what the gem represented. That should have been enough to let people know that it's... And since I was traveling with you, heroes who have never turned a blind eye to eat, they would also understand that we're here to help, rather than to tolerate or...
You used us as a part of your plan too!
My apologies. There was no time and quite a lot to explain, so I figured it might be easier to just let you see if... But I can assure you that I've now told you everything there is to know. Of course, you're under no obligation, but I would really appreciate it if you could continue. Would you be willing to let...
But Paimon's still mad at you!
You have my thanks. Now, there are still 2 outstanding matters in our investigation. I've examined one before. There was nothing suspicious. The other is the true purpose of the Black Gem. We haven't been able to get anything out of anyone. It's my hope that a brave fish will take my bait and venture outside of their... I'll put some music on while we wait.
Excuse me, Your Grace, but may I come in? I'm afraid that someone's been following me.
Please, do.
I apologize for my lack of composure. Yes, my lover Faisal told me all about you. Please, help us, Your Grace.
Slow down, take a deep breath, and start from...
I'm sorry, Your Grace. I will try.
You mean when we saw him at the gathering place?
Yes, he fled immediately, but many members are hot on his heels. Thankfully, he still managed to meet up with me and explain everything that had happened. Now that he's lost Dugier's trust, what awaits him?
Censure?
Censure is Dugier's method of establishing control, as well as the thing we all fear the most. Rather than listening to me explain what it is, Your Grace, please. Every secret may be found within...
Here you are. I was wondering where you had run off to in such a hurry. Please excuse us, Your Grace. It was never our intention to disturb you like this. You see, Avisa's... She rambles often, has hallucinations.
I don't recall hearing a knock or giving permission for you to...
Oh, my apologies. I merely did not wish for Your Grace to be alarmed. Had I not been so focused on recovering her...
Like, we believe you.
Please, there's no need to be upset. It's only natural to want to side with the poor sick girl, but...
Well then, what if the reasonable man wants to hear the...
That would be perfectly fine with me. Oh, and just so you know, we've also found the... Thankfully, he has already returned to his senses. We've brought him back to our...
I'm sorry, Your Grace.
This is what you're afraid of, correct? You can tell me everything. I'll do...
I've never seen that thing in my life.
Your Grace, I don't think there's anything else she would...
It's all right, Elise. No matter what it is, it will no longer be able to hurt.
Your Grace! Forget it. I'll keep my mouth shut. I've already...
I'm sorry, Your Grace, but I really don't have any...
But what?
In that case, Avis and I will be off.
Miss Avis, please show me your head. That is an order. There's nothing there.
Your Grace, I know you have long tired of my... The society has never caused trouble for you or in... Why are you doing everything in your power to prove our guilt? What's wrong? I'll do anything for you, as long as you give me the word.
Your words bore me. You know the consequences if I find you.
Everything that I do for the fortress of Meripede. But your Grace... All right, Avis.
Just what's up? We should have shown him his...
Sooner or later, all will pay the price for... Oh, he must have been well prepared for this exact scenario, or he wouldn't have dared to be so openly hostile. The entire society are his hostages. His subordinates would definitely react, and that's why he dared to bare his fangs right in front of me. The true secret of the society is neither on the hat nor on the members. Dugier probably knew this from the very beginning, which is why he didn't panic. However, if we were to look at the rules, it would also seem like the head...
Yeah, none of this makes sense to...
From the way Dugier acted, he must have known from the beginning that we wouldn't be able... But if there's nothing on her head... The hats are definitely being used to hide a secret.
I have an idea, but...
Huh? What is it? Tell Maimer about it!
You mean this thing? So, she handed a key piece of evidence over to us without Dugier. That would mean that Avis didn't stay silent out of fear. Let me take a look. I managed to remove this from the hair clip. It's long, slender, and conical, is hollow on the inside, and looks something like a cross.
Paimon's...
Let's see.
Hey, what are you doing? Wait, some kind of dark lit? And some of it has been absorbed by this thorny-looking thing.
You've probably heard before that water is filled with the strongest emotions of humanity. With that in mind, this liquid is probably a highly...
Oh, so that's why even touching it will make you remember unpleasant things.
Dugier would be able to censure others. I can only imagine how it would feel to have... The moment it hits you would be like being flooded with all the terrors you... Agony, desolation, and an overwhelming sense of...
So, was the hat meant to cover up?
That might not even be all. Let's go get them right away. We can't let Dugier escape with all of the evidence.
Your Grace, we have taken the Society members into custody. They all tried to flee just a little while ago, as if they had received some... We decided to forestall their plan, and we're just about to send...
Now, let's check on them. As expected, they all have a hollow thorn inserted into a wound on their head.
Ooh, Paimon's
Mm-hmm.
Let's go check out the other areas too.
Такс.
Hey, come here. Have a look at this. This is a book that Paimon found in a box next to the bookshelf. The colors of the covers are completely different, though. And the names of... Yeah! And they dared to claim that they wrote these, too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what I found. This is a surveillance port. With this, Dugier would be able to remote... So even if Dugier's not there in person, he'll still always have eyes on the members. Indeed. It's easy to become lost and confused when you're given no instructions or any kind of... And if any action you take may be deemed a mistake. And perhaps it's better to do less. Dugier has already tamed them.
Mm-hmm.
Your Grace, Your Grace!
What's the matter?
We couldn't find any society members in the other areas. It also seems like none of the equipment in those rooms were ever used. All the signs of wear and tear are fake. The lime scale, the layers of dust, they were all deliberately added. We also investigated the members' residences and weren't able to find anything. Their neighbors all...
Oh.
They're gone? That could only mean...
Indeed. As long as he allowed society members to mingle with others, even with threats of censure. Meanwhile, this marvelous gathering place will lose all of its value as soon as a whistleblower sounds the alarm. So instead of being his real base, this is just an elaborate performance. The rest areas, the fancy equipment, even the member, and only the most docile and well-trained members were selected.
But then... where...
Let me think. Dugier must be holding all the rest of his members in another place. And if the overseer of my fortress guard is never... He must be in Dugier's pocket. I'm of the same mind. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. В смысле? В смысле? Типа треба цены. Все, я поняла прикол.
No time to lose.
Нам треба виконати оце задання, а потім вернуться к заданню Ріслі, типа як. Угу. Угу.
Угу. Ну что ж, пожалуй, на этом пока я буду заканчивать. Так уж и быть. Поэтому увидимся в скором времени. Всем удачки. Пока-пока.